The following segment is sponsored by North Star Financial and Retirement Planning.
When it comes to saving for retirement, how do you know when you have enough? Many pre-retirees spend years chasing a number they came up with along the way, but is there a way to make sure you're on the right track? Joining us now are George Fossing and Zach Jenkins. They're part of the team at North Star Financial and Retirement Planning, a local area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. George and Zach are also popular radio show hosts. Joining us now, good morning.
Morning, Margaret.
Morning.
First, how much is enough? Is there a magic number strategy that would be a wise plan when it comes to saving for retirement?
I love that question. It goes back to those old commercials, where somebody's walking around with a lot of numbers. Do you have enough money and things like that? That's kind of interesting. Most people have their money in a 401k IRA, the stock market, if you will, right, invested. And they say, well, they might have enough money today, but what if the market's dropped 20%? Will they have enough at that point? So it's kind of tricky. There's a saying we have here. It's like, your money's only worth what it's worth when you sell, when you're actually out of the market. So that could be precarious for certain people out there. Most people, we've had a lot of Fox viewers, Margaret, call in, and they're concerned about the stock market. They're concerned about taxes, and they want to get some input on their own personal 401k. So showing them and say, listen, your magic number might be different than your neighbors. It's very particular, especially if you pay down a lot of your debt and, living life pretty simply.
Well, I imagine you've often found yourself working with people who've spent a lot of time and energy with the goal of chasing a $1 million savings mark. What would you tell those folks?
Good for you. There's a lot of middle-class millionaires out there between their home and their retirement accounts, their 401ks, 403bs, and IRAs and such. They've done quite well. They've done a fantastic job saving and putting away and sacrificing and saying, yeah, that's great. And as well, as I just mentioned, paying down the debt has been a big deal for folks out there too. Going into their mortgages are paid off, et cetera. So the big thing is when we talk about, do you have enough, maybe you should take a knee, take some of those winnings off the table and put it in your pocket because you might have enough and can ill afford to go backwards.
Absolutely. Well, how much should current inflation factor in then when it comes to your retirement plan? How much do you need to save there?
Inflation's an interesting one. We've traditionally called that the silent killer, but that's been a big topic over the last really 16 or so months. If you just look at June of 20 to June of 21, you're talking a little above 5% just all around. You look in some areas and you're looking at 5 to 10 or even 15% inflation, on some things out there. You really feel that when you go to the grocery store. So, could you imagine how that could, play a huge part of your retirement? If you got more inflation there, eating away at the buying power of your dollars, it's going to take more of your dollars to have the standard of living that you desire. So people have really felt that. Inflation can cause a long bleed. You want to make sure that you address that. And if your money's not at least tracking with inflation, you're losing buying power. We've taken numerous calls really over the last several months, people just being concerned because either they've got, a lot of money in cash, or either maybe they've got CDs that are up to renew, and they're looking for ways to, be more efficient with that safe money. So that's been, quite a topic for us. Yeah, sure.
Now, let's talk about market volatility. If you're within a few years of retirement, how should you approach your stock market? How should that approach differ from somebody who's maybe in their mid-40s?
Time, it's a big thing. It's we're at an all-time high with a lot of the markets right now, Margaret, and that's wonderful. What goes up comes down. Again, I'll just reiterate for folks out there, look at some options. Look at how you can take some money off of the table, put it into a protective mode where you can't lose, yet it's still going to grow and still move forward. Might not do as well as at-risk money, but you still have safe money that's going to grow at a nice rate of return as well. You know what that's called?
What?
It's called sleep insurance.
Mm-hmm. We want to sleep at night.
Yes.
And it's always just reassuring to talk to you both, probably more important now than ever. So thank you so much, George and Zach, for the conversation.
Thanks for having us, Margaret. We appreciate it.
And for those of you at home, if you're currently retired or getting close to retirement, would like to learn more about how you could potentially reduce your future taxes, as well as help protect and grow your hard-earned savings and investments, North Star Financial has a great offer for you. Right now until November 7th, they're offering a complimentary no-obligation retirement and investment report. The report will include potential tax savings opportunities and ways to reduce the effects of market volatility on your portfolio. Their team will schedule a phone call, video call, or future in-office meeting so they can speak with you personally and provide you with a roadmap going forward. The number to call now, 864-309-8146.